the series by the Rangers, the Orioles are looking to rebound. Tonight, Wei-Yin Chen with a 2.13 ERA in his last 4 starts will take the mound. It's the O's and Rangers, Game 3 in the series from Camden Yards, up next on MASN. It's the Orioles on MASN on another humid night in downtown Baltimore. It's the Orioles and Texas Rangers tonight. It's Game 3 in this 4-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter, and as the Orioles today turn the calendar to July, the roster adjustments continue. Tyler Wilson has been called back from AAA Norfolk. He'll be in the bullpen tonight. And to make room, the Orioles have designated Delman Young for assignment. Dan Duquette will join us in the second inning to talk about the roster moves and pending roster moves to come. Now, the Orioles in the month of June won 18 games to get back in the thick of the race, and a big part of that was the pitching coming around. We all know how important starting pitching is, and this homestand is a good example of that. One turn through the rotation going back to last Friday night, Wei-Yin Chen. He was outstanding. Pitched to no decision, but 6 innings, a couple of runs. He got 3 runs of support. Ubaldo Jimenez and Chris Tillman on Sunday in the doubleheader, even better. They pitched great. They also got support. But the last 2 games, Bud Norris 5 runs in 6 innings. Miguel Gonzalez last night 6 runs in 4 1/3. And you see the run support, but that's what it's all about. It's all about the starters giving your team a chance to win. Jim, again, we keep talking about the rotation. They are a proven group. They expect to get better, and last year, this was exactly the time of year that happened. Well,
it was. I mean, they struggled in April, got a little better in May, and then from June on, they were as good as any other team. They tied the Angels for the most wins, and, of course, the Angels lost, Richards about halfway through August, so maybe that had something to do with it, but they had a really good second half, so that's what you want to do. You want to go out there, you want to throw strikes. Wei-Yin Chen is going to pitch tonight. This pitch probably better than anybody else, doesn't get a lot of run support, so it gives them a chance to win. You think as a player, hey, all I got to do is got to get a couple of hits, maybe get that key hit. I don't have to do what you would have done against the Rangers last 2 nights, which is to score over 8 runs. So bottom line is just get back to throwing strikes, and then when you get ahead, 2 of the home runs last night of the 4 they hit on 0-2 pitches, make quality pitches. So tonight the Orioles looking to snap their 2-game losing streak, get back in this series as they take on the Rangers. We're coming back to Baltimore. Lineups and first pitch are next.
Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Fans on Utah Street for this game here, game 3 of the 4-game series. Here's our BGE home game temperature at 85 degrees. That humidity still up there at 49%. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? So the Orioles and the Rangers, game 3 in this 4-game series. Texas with 8 runs in each of the first 2 games have won both. Alberto Andrus fielder with BELTRE in the cleanup spot. Mitch Moreland, 2 home runs in each game in this series. Ryan Rua in left field tonight drops CHOO down to 7th. Chirinos will catch Leonis Martin in center field. That's 9th.
And Wei-Yin Chen trying to even that record at 4-4. A lot of fastballs, 2-seamers, mostly 4-seamers, breaking ball, curveball, slider variety, and then the changeup. Very good pitch to slow the bats down. There is the numbers. Very low earned run average. They don't score a lot of runs for him. Least amount of run support on the Orioles. Less hits than innings pitched. Fly ball pitcher, and he's been hurt by the home run ball. And if you've been paying attention the first 2 games of this series, the Rangers have been hitting home runs for a game. Again, the ability, even though he throws home runs, a lot of them are solo shots. If you're going to give them up, just make sure nobody's on base. Impeccable control when he's on his game. You know, the one number that jumped out, and looking at some of the notes early this morning, 4 run or less earned runs the last 29 games. So very, very consistent. Gives you a chance to win pretty much every time out. And what we saw him that first year when he came to the Orioles, Jim, if he ever had a bad inning early, it would be, it's like the next 3, 4, 5 innings would be shut down innings. So the ability, even when things don't go completely his way, to maintain his poise and his presence of mind.
So here is Hanser Alberto, who will play at second base tonight. Rougned Odor getting at least the early part of the night off. Alberto, rookie out of the Dominican Republic. It's another right-hand bat in there, and Shen misses low, and we're underway. Alberto has not started a game since June the 21st, and he's played in only 2 of the Rangers' last 8 games. Young player at 22 years old, and there's a strike, 1-1. Now, Chen coming off a no decision in the game last Friday, but when he left the game, he had a 3-2 lead. The Indians tied it, and then the Orioles came back, and Darren O'Day got the win. There's a bunt attempt in the air, and it's foul back at the plate.
Yeah, Darren O'Day, 2 games up in Toronto. Carlos Santana hit a grounder. I mean, a low fastball, and golfed it to tie the game up. But Wei-Yin Chen, again, an outstanding performance. Not afraid to, and he pitches in, and we'll see this right here. Fastball. You can see Caleb Joseph sliding in. He didn't get it there. And you could see that look on his face. But a little extra there at 94. Normal fastball is his average fastball is a tick under 92 miles per hour. And every once in a while, and maybe this is going to be that game, you can get to 93 or 4. Young hitter, head in the count, make him chase a ball.
Weak ground ball to first. There's Parmalee. He'll flip to Chen, who fields his position so well. And there's the first out of the game on a weak ground ball.
Yeah, take a look at the Oriole defense. Snyder, Jones, and Davis. Chris Davis playing right field over the last, 4 or 5 games on occasion. And then the Gold Glovers, Machado and Hardy left side. Flaherty playing like one. Parmalee can pick it. And then Caleb Joseph. Very good defensive catcher for a young catcher.
Here's Elvis Andrus moving up in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, if you're Jeff Bannister, Jim, what you're trying to do is, as you mentioned, Odor, who had a couple of nice games for him, but he's a left-handed hitter. You hope that Hanser Alberto would get on, because Andrus, what he does so well is spray the ball around. So you move him into the 2 spot in case you get somebody on.
You know, the one thing about Chen, and almost every major league manager with platoon players, they play the trends. They look at the splits. Does this pitcher get out lefties? Does this pitcher get out righties? And they'll adjust their lineup accordingly. But Chen really, Jim, isn't one of those guys. His splits are almost right down the middle. So he's an equal opportunity pitcher. He gets you out. Doesn't matter where you bat.
Now, of course, Andrus is 6 for 11. So, again, I think if you're Jeff Bannister, first year as a manager, it's a good pitch to hit, but he fouls it off. See, you think it looks so good, but he's deceptive, turns his back,
ball at 92. And we've said this since this is his 4th year with the Orioles. 92 is usually better than 92 because of the deception.
2-1 to Andrews is hit to short. J.J. Hardy gobbles it up, and 2 away. Now, what is it about the repertoire of Chen that makes him effective regardless of which side of the plate the hitter comes up?
Well, to righties, he has the ability, as well as pretty much anybody in the American League as a left-handed pitcher, to pitch inside. Now, he's not Chris Sale, who's 6'6", arms and legs, and, you know, a change-up in any count, throwing 96. But he hides the ball well. Lefty, you know, he's got a curveball and a change up and a slider. Lefties, the slider is his biggest strikeout pitch, or his whiff pitch.
First ball swinging his fielder, and he pops it up a mile high. Machado waiting for it, and Manny will put it away in a real good inning for it. Wei-Yin Chen. Texas goes 3 up and 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Here come the Birds. Wednesday night, July the 1st. It's going to look at the Orioles starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Manny Machado in that leadoff spot led the American League 42 base hits in the month of June. Paredes, Jones, and Davis with Parmalee at first, and Hardy and Snyder, Caleb Joseph catching tonight, and Ryan Flaherty at second base batting ninth.
And Nick Martinez, so a young pitcher, only 24. Last year, struggled on a team that wasn't very good, but really learned how to pitch, and throws a lot of strikes, pitches to contact, doesn't walk a lot of guys, and pitch into the righties, or in that case down and away. You can see right-handers having a much better average at 311. Lefties, curveball, slider, changeup, and a good running fastball. Not overpowering, but he's got a nice mix of pitches, and he'll throw them in any count.
Well, Manny's got a 12-game hitting streak going. 28 multi-hit games. 15 of those came in the month of June. And that's how you compile 42 hits in a month. And the 0-2 is down and away, and he doesn't chase. And that's a pitch that Buck Showalter was talking about that enables him to hit in 12 in a row. You don't swing at that pitch, and the at-bat continues.
That's the way to get him out. It just, when you throw a pitch like that, and there's the two-seamer, and he got him. Talking to Mike Maddox, pitching coach, he said he's not afraid to pitch inside, and 91, but look at the movement. I mean, that ball moved, what, I don't know, 6 inches, 7 inches. And it almost looked like a changeup, but it was a fastball. So there you go, 16 straight starts, allowing 3 runs or less, and then all of a sudden he ran into the White Sox, and they put 9 hits and 7 runs, and then, like everybody else, had trouble with Toronto.
And gets ahead of Paredes on the inside corner, 0-1. Jimmy 5 for 13 on the homestand. One of those hits a home run. And he has 11 RBIs in his last 16 games. And fouls it back, so 0-2 to back-to-back hitters.
Now you have a right-hander and a left-hander. Martinez the righty and Chen the lefty. They're very much alike. They throw a lot of strikes.
And the 0-2 swung on and missed. Actually, foul tip held by Chirinos. So Martinez throwing nothing but strikes to the first 2 batters and 2 quick outs.
Now strike throwing machine, and I mean it's just a fastball, but it has a lot of movement, and it's 91, and you swing right through it. Because if you look at the scouting reports, and they come into play, but they especially come into play when you get ahead. He got ahead 1 and 2 to Manny Machado, tried to strike him out on the 0-2 pitch, and then eventually threw another pitch. You just, I don't care who you are, you expand the strike zone when the pitcher gets 2 strikes on you.
Adam Jones now 2 outs and nobody on. Breaking ball misses high. Adam has hit in 2 in a row now, trying to get that timing back after sitting out with the shoulder bone bruise. And there's another base hit, and he hits it down the line. Adam hustling out of the box. He's going to try to get to second base, and he will. So there's a 2-out double for Adam Jones, and he's in scoring position here in the first.
Yeah, I always found, and I think we saw this last year with Martinez pitch, that here's a curveball. So it's not a bad curveball, but you're playing off the line, and the curveball, if it stays up, and BELTRE, a 4-time Gold Glover, he's playing percentages. So not only is he playing off the line, he's probably leaning left a little bit, take away the hole. So the ground ball that's pretty routine to his left, to his right is a double. And that's what hurts you. I mean, there are nights, Jim, when you pitch where you give up base hits, but instead of singles, they're doubles. And then the Orioles get to do what they do best, drive in runners with runners in scoring position. Nobody better.
Ball in the dirt to Chris Davis. Jones does not try to advance.
What, they dropped to 2 points last night, all the way to 317, the best runner in scoring position number in baseball. Of course, Chris hit 2 home runs. This kid's a little different than Colby Lewis. Does not have the experience. That was last night's starting pitcher. Colby, one thing he did, again, the wind blowing out, ball traveling, threw 3 home runs, but didn't walk anybody.
1-0 is hit towards the shift. There's the second baseman. He fires to Martinez, and a nice play by Hanser Alberto in the shift. So the Orioles unlucky there. That ball was hit well. And they'll strand Jones at second base. We'll head to the second at Camden Yards. No score. First, get a look at our American Standard's Who's Hot, Who's Not. Celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities. Well, J.J. Hardy certainly hot in the month of June, batted .307, and Adrian Beltre not 1 for 4 last night.
Boy, but he did get hit.
We have standards.
Yes, we do. Apparently, we're going to ignore the first game where he got a couple of hits. Again, coming off the thumb injury, so he was on the disabled list there. Josh Hamilton played last night, got a couple of hits, but they're getting back to strength talking about this ball club, even though they have some other pieces of the puzzle. Yeah, I saw him today. He was out early doing some stuff, and I said, "You really hate hitting here." What's the average against the Orioles? 395.
And he pops it up behind second base. Going to be Hardy calling off Flaherty. And Shen gets another quick out and one away here in the second. There is still time to get on board for the drama of the second half of the season and save on ticket prices. All you have to do is pick up the 2015 Birdland Summer 6-pack. Choose any 6 games for the remainder of the season. You'll enjoy 20% off the cost of single game tickets. Now build the perfect plan for you. Great games that you decide, either division games or popular promotions, whatever you like. For all the details, get online, Orioles.com/6-pack, or call 888-848-BIRD. There's Mitch Moreland and the second left-handed batter. Normally this is a very heavy left-handed hitting lineup. There are 4 in there tonight, and 5 batting from the right side.
Well, they still hit the second most home runs in the American League. Only Houston with more off left-handed pitching. But again, 2 of his 14 home runs have come against lefties.
Moreland now with 14 home runs off his explosion here in this series. Shen gets ahead 0-2. And he got him, a 3-pitch strikeout.
That's a little extra on the fastball. I mean, 94, not only maybe a mile or 2 harder. Look where the glove is, and look where the ball ends up. And you're John Tumpane behind the home plate. Even if he doesn't swing, it's going to encourage you to call it a strike.
Well, that ball had sweeping action across, almost like he cut it there. So 2 down, 5 in a row retired by Chen. Here's Ryan Rua.
A young hitter coming through the minor leagues, gets to play against left-handers. Only 44 at bats this year.
High fly ball to left. Snyder back on it. And he will get there, and in front of the warning track, he has it for the out. Wei-Yin Chen with a real strong start. 6 up and 6 down. Get your program here at Camden Yards. No score. To get some extra depth in that bullpen, and joined now by the Orioles Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations, Dan Duquette. Today, a tough roster decision. It's not going to be your last, but tell us about the decision to designate Delman Young.
Well, we need a little bit more support for our bullpen. Buck likes to have that extra pitcher down there, and Tyler Wilson's done a great job for us against Toronto. He came in and did the best long job that we had in a while as a long man, and he's going to support the pitching staff. We always try to keep as many players in the organization as we can. We couldn't do that in this case, so we got Tyler Wilson up, and we designated Delman. We thought we have a little bit more right-handed hitting depth. We've got Wieters, of course, just came back. Scope is on the horizon, and then we've got Pierce and Nolan Reimold. And then at AAA, we got Christian Walker, had a great month at first base. And Dario Alvarez, who we like, is coming along pretty well, showing some good power in the outfield. So that's how we ended up where we ended up.
Yeah, those are the tough decisions, because I think anybody with any kind of memory understands, you know, how important he was to the club last year, the pinch hitting, big hit in the playoffs. But it's part of the job, isn't it?
Well, it's tough. I mean, Delman is a really good pinch hitter. He's one of the best in the business. And we're going to have to, you know, consider having his experience when it gets to be around the playoff time. But like I said earlier, last year we sent Nolan Reimold on waivers. He's back. I've sent Steve Pierce a couple of times on waivers, and I've got him back twice. And we like Delman. We just didn't have a spot for him on this club right now, and we'll have to see how that goes in the future. But he made a good contribution. We appreciate the work that he did. And like I said, I think we got a little bit more depth right-handed now than when we started the season.
Can you explain to people listening what actually happens when you designate somebody?
Well, the designation gives you about 10 days to decide what to do with the contract. So we've been talking to teams about Delman, and we'll continue to talk to teams about Delman. And at the end of that time, hopefully we'll have a job for him with another major league club. If not, then we're limited in what we can do. We'd have to release him or offer him to go to the minors, but he's not going to go to the minors at his experience. He's a major league player.
Dan, you and your staff have done such a tremendous job in bringing in depth, and you mentioned Walker and Alvarez. Walker was drafted. Alvarez you signed as a international free agent. What goes into decisions about the players that you keep? Because obviously they all have different strengths, and as Jim pointed out, and hopefully this team is in October, having that experienced October back coming off the bench, that's really a bonus.
Well, that's helpful. We try to get complementary strengths, try to get as many good hitters on the bench as we can, and players that can play in the field. Of course, we put a lot of emphasis and premium on defense, playing a position and playing good defense, because it's a game of defense, and that, of course, starts on the mound. And with Jimmy Paredes emerging as the DH, particularly from the left side, that's about 75% of the at-bats. So, and with Chris Parmelee coming up and Chris Davis going in the outfield, that's a few more of those at-bats. So there's not as many at-bats for a right-handed hitter as there were when we started the season due to the composition of the team. And Parmelee's a terrific defender. Nolan adds an element of on-base capability and good speed from the bench, and he can also hit, and he has some power. So we just try to get as many strengths as we can available for the manager, and we take a look at this every night.
Right.
You know, I mean, we kind of.
And he can apparently steal bases because Nick Martinez keeps throwing over this. We know he can walk.
Well, yeah, he had an 8% walk rate, I think. So anyway, Chris is a good player, and when he came up, if we didn't bring Chris Parmelee up, he would have been on the roster of one of our other competitors when we did, because he had an out from his contract. So we wanted him, of course, for this team and perhaps into the future. So that's why we brought him up, and he's made an impact on the team. And I thought our team gelled when Nolan came up and joined.
Hardy pops it up left side. Who's it going to be? Andrus and Beltre. And it's going to be Andrus, although Beltre mimicked it. Speaking with Dan Duquette, Delman Young designated for assignment today to get Tyler Wilson up here. Now, of course, you have to make another move tomorrow, as Kevin Gausman will come up to make the start. So somebody will have to go tomorrow. And then maybe next week or maybe sooner, Jonathan Scope on the horizon. So
right.
You have yet another move to make.
Right. Well, with John coming back, that gives us another right-handed bat. So he should be helpful. He's just about ready to go. Tyler Wilson has made a nice contribution to the team so far. He did a good on a spot start. He did good when called in relief and gave us some needed innings against the Blue Jays. I really like him. He was the minor league pitcher of the year last year, and I like the way he goes about his business.
There's a bouncer towards the middle. Alberto to Andrus and back to first. There's an inning-ending double play. Well, Dan, we appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for the information and continued success as you keep remolding the roster.
All right, thank you.
It's Dan Duquette. We'll head to the third. No score. Glenn Burney has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. You can play Baseball Bucks scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Wei-Yin Chen 6 up and 6 down on just 17 pitches as he goes to work here in the top of the third. Trying to win his 4th on the year to even his record at 4-4.
Well, let's see. If you've gone 29 games without giving more than 4 runs, it seems very simple. Get him 5.
That's been the formula all year, except for last night. As CHOO swings through it. Chen has not lost a game since May the 30th. That was against Tampa Bay. CHOO tried to get hit with that breaking ball, but it spun on by him.
Yeah, 2 for 4 against Wei-Yin Chen. Looks like he's swinging the bat a lot better. There's a hittable pitch. You know, for lefties, and I learned this from Mike Flanagan when he became a specialist, he said all the good lefties that hit left-handed pitchers, they keep the front shoulder in and they hit the breaking ball that starts at them until they get the 2 strikes, and then they have to really scuffle, and that was one of those.
1-2 pitch hit to right field. Back on it is Davis. That ball is deep, and that ball is gone. And there's another home run when the pitcher's ahead in the count. That was a 1-2 pitch that SHIN-SOO Choo hits out.
Yeah, when you get 2 strikes and you're going to try to come in, the philosophy that the teams that I pitched on for almost 20 years was with 2 strikes, even or ahead. And of course, this ball is in the middle of the plate, so it's more hittable. And again, it still is a Wei-Yin Chen fastball, but you got to give him credit because he went right up and got it. But again, not a very good 1-2 pitch. 2 of the 4 home runs yesterday with 0-2 counts.
Well, the thing about Chen, that is the 14th home run he's allowed, and 11 of the 14 are solos.
Yeah.
And usually solos don't beat you, but when you're ahead 1-2, you'd like to keep it in the park. And that is also only the 3rd home run allowed by Chen to a left-handed batter. Brandon Moss of Cleveland in his last start, James Loney of Tampa Bay, and now CHOO.
Yeah, all that was the Moss was just a slider that didn't slide, and Brandon Moss is a home run hitter, and he hit one. Doesn't take much here, as we mentioned. There's never been a visiting player that's come in here and didn't like hitting in this ballpark because of the friendly confines.
For Chen, the other factor to tie in with Jim's point, 11 of the 14 home runs he's allowed have been here at Camden Yards. So there goes Chirinos down to first base, and let's get a look at our Express stat of the day. And here's the run support for the rotation.
Well, there you go. I mean, Wei-Yin Chen at 3.62, so there's not a whole lot of margin for error. The only good news is ERA is at 2.90. Tillman, Chris, now what, 6-7, was 2-7, and then Jimenez has pitched well. They've scored for him, something different than last year, and Gonzalez kind of in the middle.
And a bunt by Martin. It's a good one. Chen gets to it, fires, and safe is the call at first as Martin beat the throw. So bunting to sacrifice, and instead he'll get an infield hit.
You know, that kid can run. And again, because of all the injuries last year, and the tie's supposed to go to the runner. Certainly, I don't know. I mean, makes a nice play, quick toss inside the line. Eventually you have to come back. That 45-foot line is in foul territory, but look at the edge of the back, so eventually you have to come back. Yeah, and from that side you might be able to say the ball was in the glove. Yeah, the foot not quite down, ball in the glove, but boy is it close. And when it's close, it usually doesn't get reversed. Great camera work. Just imagine if you're an umpire, you've got to discern. Remember the old days? You ever umpire? I umpired in Little League. Every play was the same. I mean, the foot got down, so I just altered it.
Buck has elected not to challenge that, so that'll go as an infield hit. Our Express Stat by Express Care, by the way, a LifeBridge health partner. For locations, visit whywaitintheer.com. So Martin, the bunt single, and all of a sudden now the home run, the walk to Chirinos, and now an infield hit. There's Hanser Alberto. We'll see if he's asked to sacrifice.
Well, they get Martinez 5.88 runs. Nick gets a lot of runs to work with.
And he does square, and he bunts it towards Machado. Perfect bunt. And Manny gets it over to Flaherty, so there's a sacrifice. So second and third, and only one down. So the home run, walk, and bunt single, and now Texas with a chance for an add-on run.
And because of the nature of the game, you're early, you're already down one, you're not going to bring your infield in. I mean, even Parmalee at first is playing back. You know, I suppose if the ball was hit sharply to Machado, who's about 2 steps behind the bag, he might come in.
Yeah, actually, they're back about halfway. Usually when the infield is drawn in to try to cut off that run, they're right on the grass.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons might be is because he's such a pronounced fly ball pitcher. And the only way, you know, these are one of those things where I always talked about it. You don't want to give up another run, but you don't want to give up 2. So you don't think strikeout until you get ahead of him, and he falls behind him 1-0. And now it's 2-0. Because all you got to do is look on deck, and you can see Fielder and then Beltre. You know, Moreland, you already struck out, and the last thing you want to do is get into one of those huge innings. Again, the philosophy being you think your teammates have a chance to win. Stay away from the big inning.
And he pops it up. Shallow right. Here comes Davis. They're not even going to tag as Davis has it for the out. That is a big, big out for Wei-Yin Chen.
The Andrews did everything except be able to hit it deep enough. They got the count. Wei-Yin Chen got behind them, and there's again the fastball that you think you can get on top of. Only CHOO's been able to do it for the home run.
So he's not away from getting out of it without any further damage. And here is Fielder, who popped up to Manny to end the first. Fielder began the night second in the league in batting at .347, just 2 points behind Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers, who seems to make a run at the batting title every year. And there's a bouncer towards the hole. Flaherty to his left, and he'll get it to first, and Chen gets out of it. Nice job by Wei-Yin Chen. The Rangers get a run on the CHOO home run mid-third, 1-0 Texas. Hitters, and the Orioles take advantage of their home ballpark. 95 home runs now on the year, 5th most in the major leagues. The Orioles are scoring just under 40% of their runs via the home runs. But, Jim, here's where it gets interesting. 34 of the 41 wins have come in games hitting home runs, averaging just under 7 runs a game. But how about that ERA by Orioles pitchers when you get them a little support? And in contrast, 19 losses of the 36 without a home run. They average under 2 runs a game, but the ERA is inflated. And there's the breakdown, 38 home runs in June. But it's kind of amazing. Even when we talk about scoring and home runs, it still comes down to the pitching.
Well, it does. And the Orioles are what they are. They don't stay a lot of, they don't walk a lot. They're 12th out of the 15 teams. They don't steal bases. They're 13th out of the 15 teams. They don't hit a lot of doubles. They're 12th out of the 15 teams. And well, again, they don't manufacture a lot of runs. And then you can go down there 9th in on base percentage.
Caleb Joseph to right field. CHOO back, but has a play. And there's an out. So 1 away here in the 3rd. Well, the Birds will close out this homestand tomorrow night. Rangers here again for a 7:05 game. Good seats remain for your chance to cheer on the Red Hot O's and enjoy a nice summer night here with family and friends at the ballpark. For tickets, Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. Families here enjoying this Wednesday night game. Ryan Flaherty will take a strike.
Yeah, Nick Martinez comes out of Fordham University, and I'm talking again, Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, and it's on our notes. He was an infielder at Fordham. He just took up pitching and raced his way through the minor leagues. Last year wasn't even in the big league camp. Everybody got hurt. They called him up out of the minor league camp, and 5 days later, because of all the injuries, he became a starter. He didn't have a real good year, but he had a good year as the season progressed.
You know, what's interesting about that story is coming out of high school, he went to high school in Miami at Bellin Jesuit Prep, and he wasn't really highly recruited. We know, and you certainly know, living there part of the year, how much baseball talent comes out of Florida. And when he talked to his guidance counselor at the high school, Bellin Jesuit Prep, they steered him towards a Jesuit university. And he had 2 to pick from, Georgetown or Fordham, and he ended up going to Fordham. So not usually you don't see a Florida kid go to New York City to go to college if he wants to play baseball, but he listened to the advisor and he ended up at Fordham. Flaherty towards left center field. That chases Martin, but he has a play.
Man, he can go get him. That's why he's out there. That and the fact he can bunt his way on.
Okay, 2 down. Here comes Manny Machado. Manny coming off just a tremendous month of June. You see 40 hits and 8 home runs in a month for players 22 or younger. Yeah, that DiMaggio guy, he did okay. Mantle, yeah, he did okay. Alex Rodriguez did it a couple of times. And now Manny Machado, 42 hits and 8 home runs. That is some good company for Mr. Machado.
I'll look at those A-Rod numbers, and because that's before. No, that's before the stuff. So, because anybody knows, I mean, he was a marvelous player. He didn't have to do what he had to do to be a Hall of Fame caliber. But when you're with Mantle and DiMaggio, yeah, people, if you forget how young Manny is because he's been here, it seems like forever. But what?
It's 4th season.
Yeah, 4th season. He's been, the 2 knee problems that have cut some of the years short. But this is what you want from your #1 draft choices. Guys that can play, that are athletic, that can hit a little bit if you're going to be a hitter.
Well, Manny comes in as hot as any hitter in the American League. Brings a 12-game hitting streak into tonight's game.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you throw him change-up, so you speed up the bat, he'll pull the ball. Otherwise, he'll go like he did the other night, right center field on a high breaking ball.
There's a chopper to 3rd. Beltre waits on the hop and guns it across. And there's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Nick Martinez after his team got him the lead. We'll head to the 4th. Legends Park, 1-0 Texas. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by your local Mercedes dealership. So those are hydrangeas? Is that what they are?
Yeah, they look like it.
We have some of those in my yard. That's why I thought I recognized those.
Usually they're actually, just had a longtime friend, Hank Lynch, lived down on Middle River, and they do really well in that climate. So maybe, do you live on the river?
No.
No. Or maybe it's just, I think they do better here than they do in the southern climes.
Or maybe it's because Bonnie takes care of them. That she does.
Could be another thing. I used to have them, and they cut them back, and I might have cut them back at the wrong time. Well, no, not at the real wrong time, because I would just cut them back so I could go to Florida. So it was, but
if they were well when you got back, so
no, they were very woody, and so maybe it was a little premature or something.
Well, what's nice about those is there's a ball ripped towards the gap. Davis is there, reaches up, and he grabbed it. Wow, that ball was smoked.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you don't play a lot of outfield, but this is a very gazelle-like catch because it is ripped. And, boy, you take a step or two in and then very so athletically watch him go back. And that's why you take balls off the bat. That's because you can react. In a perfect world, you take a straight line to where the ball is going to come down. And, of course, the more slice, the harder it hits. It's harder to do that.
Mitch Moreland fouls it back on the first pitch. Moreland struck out his first at bat, the only strikeout for Chen so far.
So Moreland, Mitch hit 9 home runs in the month of June and also drove in 25. There's 7 RBIs in the first 2 games here. And he's hit them to all parts of the ballpark.
Well, his home run last night the opposite way, that was a crusher for the O's.
And it looked like a routine fly ball off the bat.
Made a 1-run game a 3-run game.
Well, you know as well as I do that all clubs, and you see the Orioles do it, you get a lead and then you want to, even if it's 2-3 runs, you want to always add stuff because you just never know. Make it easier for your bullpen.
Off speed pitch, and that just bounces foul. Shen has 3 wins on the year, 2 here at home and 1 on the road, even though his ERA on the road is a tad better than at home. Half a run a game better.
But as you said, only not as many starts, but only 3 home runs on the road, 11 here.
Tried to pull an outside pitch. There's Hardy in the shift.
Yeah, that was the classic, and it's a little harder against lefty, roll over. Sort of hitting instructors, they like you to actually stay inside the ball a little bit, but you know, again, when you strike out, you get trying to be a little bit quicker, and again, the top hand takes over, and you do roll over on the ball, and it's hard to do anything but hit a nice soft ground ball.
There's Ryan Rua. Flied out to deep left his first at bat.
He just missed a home run, so you've got to read that bat. Now they're going to go down and away, and
right field, that chases Davis back. Turning, twisting, and it is off the top of the wall, and they're saying that's a home run. It hit the roof of the groundskeeper's shed. So there's an opposite field home run that carries out. So Ryan Rua goes deep on the first pitch, and it's a 2-0 game.
I think it's safe to say he's seen 2 pitches. He's just missed a home run, and then he hit a home run that becomes in that category of a first ball fastball hitter. And it's not a horrible pitch. I mean, look where it is, outside maybe third of the plate. And you think, and it just if it's a little bit to the right, it's a double.
It looked like it might have hit the padding.
No. Yeah, but that's
on top.
Run,
that's a home run.
Unfortunately. But he's a home run guy. Last year hit 18 at AA, AAA.
Yeah, that's definitely
29 in A-ball, and then you can add another in AA 2 years ago.
Buck has asked John Tompane to at least talk to the other umpires about this. And they're going to go look at it.
Well, you got to do that if you're Buck Showalter. Just, I mean, it looks like replay is going to show that he got over that lip of that of what is the where the ground screw sits, and they don't put a line here. I think they like to have the integrity of an all green background.
Well, if it hits the facing, you see the gate there where the ground screw comes in and out. If it hits the facing, it's in play, but that appeared to hit on top, and that's a home run.
Now, if it hit the edge, and I think a lot of people say, well, why isn't there a yellow line? Why isn't there a yellow line across the top of the scoreboard? But that maybe aesthetically would be displeasing, but might make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, the only two spots in the ballpark that have the yellow line are down the lines by the foul pole.
And just think, if you're Buck Showalter, I'm sure our video guys have told them, hey, you know what, maybe this might be close enough, but what are the odds of a ball actually hitting on top of that roof and bouncing back into the field of play? Now, maybe it hits a seam. Take a look. There's some, you can see there's some, actually, it looks like where the gate goes in, there's a couple of supports.
All right, now here's a question. The umpire signaled home run, and Brewer ran around the bases. Well, let's see what the decision is. And it's a home run, so they confirmed that it did in fact go on the roof. But had they overturned that, would they have just put Brewer back at second base? He kept running.
I think they would have considered it a ground rule double.
Well, that is the right call. It did hit on the roof, so that's a solo home run. 2 in the game and a 2-0 lead for Texas.
So now 10 home runs in this series.
Chen, in his start last Friday against Cleveland, allowed 2 runs in 6 innings, both on solo home runs. So he is following that pattern here again tonight. And there's a strike taken by CHOO, who homered his first at bat. Cho's bunt takes it down and in. Well, Texas has won 2 in a row. They are 3-2 on this road trip, a 7-game trip. Tonight is game 6. And a lazy fly ball to left. Right there is Snyder. He has it, and the inning ends, but not before Texas adds to its lead on the solo home run by Brewer. Mid-4th, 2-0 Rangers. Bowie having another fine year, the 14th round pick just a couple of years ago, 2013, out of Vanderbilt. And he was named one of 4 Bay Sox named today to the Eastern League All-Star team. The one thing about Yastrzemski that the organization loves is speed.
Yeah, and you know, it's second really, well, first full year in Double-A. You know, last year A-ball and then about 180 bats. So you're right. I mean, one year, what did he hit? 17 triples. I get a little nervous when I see that name.
Well, his grandfather owned you, right?
No, he didn't own me, but he certainly helped him get to Cooperstown. I was one of the contributors. But his grandfather could flat out play. Talk about a guy that took conditioning to another level. Won the Triple Crown in '67. Part of a lot of great Red Sox teams.
Well, Nick Martinez gets ahead of Paredes.
Well, here's a guy we talked about being an infielder, Jim, and you know, he's got movement. 89, 91. You know, his pitching coach Mike Maddox, his brother, pitches a little bit like Greg did. I mean, you think, you know, Greg didn't have an overhand curveball. He did have a little bit of a slider, but he could run the ball in, run it away, change speeds, a little bit of a cutter, all the way to over 350 wins. And there is Mike Maddox, former pitcher himself. Wow. Yeah, Jimmy Paredes thought that he could duck that high breaking ball. If he knew he was going to call it a strike, he probably would have said it could have hit it out of here.
Yeah, fly ball to right. That ball's got a chance. CHOO is back, and that ball has got it just carried out. So Paredes gets one back, and it's a one-run game.
You know, Jim, you know, sometimes you get into ballparks where you figure they have your signs. I really thought he hit the heck out of that ball, and it barely got out. And we've seen the Rangers hit balls that don't look like they're going, and they go. But I mean, this is, you know, talked about Martinez's next way of being able to sink the ball. This was not a sinker. This is a belt-high fastball, and it got belted.
And Angela Neblett, our Maryland contestant lottery of the game, has just won another $500, courtesy of Mr. Paredes.
Yeah, but the wind, what wind there is, and of course the flags don't always tell you the whole story, is blowing from right to left. And there's the two-seamer, but watch this pitch. It's a two-seam fastball, but it stays up. Again, this is a two-strike pitch. And boy, the ball off Jimmy Paredes' bat has a loud sound on occasion, and that was one of them.
Jones doubled his first at bat, and he'll take low 1-1. So Paredes hits number 10, and it's a 2-1 game. And Adam now 24 extra base hits. He slices this one to right field. CHOO is over, reaches up, and he makes the catch. It nearly sliced over his head.
Yeah, he didn't take a great route to the ball. He came in and then had to go back. Ball hit sharply. It's off the bat. So he's going to come in, and then he goes, oh, I better get back. Well, that ball, very much like the Rua home run, was a little bit higher, ball carrying well. Yet Paredes' ball just died a little bit. Maybe the wind affects it a little bit when it gets away from the scoreboard.
Well, here is Chris Davis, and he'll take low 1-0. He'll ground it out to second base, actually into the shift. There was a shot into shallow right field, and that ended the first inning. Chris has hit in 10 straight games, and he tries to go the other way, and he fouls it off. Let's get a look at our Jeep Inside the Numbers. Talk about production in bunches.
Yeah, 4 RBI games. That's pretty select company there. Miguel Cabrera, former Triple Crown winner. Stanton.
And he'll foul it off again. That'll be back in the crowd, slicing away. Davis red hot. 4 home runs, 10 RBIs during the hitting streak, and a crisp .351 average. He now has 10 multi-RBI games on the year. Martinez ahead 1-2. And Jim was talking about Nick Martinez and coming into the Rangers organization at Fordham University, an 18th round pick in 2011. He is the first Fordham University alum to reach the big leagues since Pete Harnisch, who was, of course, a first-round draft pick of the Orioles out of Fordham back in 1987. Harnisch grew up on Long Island and stayed home and went to Fordham, as opposed to Martinez, who went to high school in Florida.
Yeah, he was traded along with Curt Schilling in that Glenn Davis trade. Of course, Davis were hurt. Really, the neck muscle will never be the kind of hitter the Orioles thought. Boy, look at the movement on that pitch. Bottom dropped out. That's his ability to pitch down in the zone. I mean, just look at the movement. I mean, it's located well, down and away, and just keeps running. Well, there's your two-seamer. You pull down and let the ball just naturally run. And again, just a little bit out of the swing. Covered it on the first strike. That was a good take. Nice little curveball.
Harmony walked his first at bat. He is 4 for 15 on the homestand with a couple of RBIs. Towards right center field, Martin back on it, gliding to it, and he's got it for the out. So the inning ends, and Martinez gets out of it, but not before Jimmy Paredes, leading off, just gets it out into the bleachers, and it's a one-run game at the yard. Home runs getting it done. Let's get a look at our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers. Consecutive starts allowing 4 earned runs or fewer by left-handed pitchers going back to 1995, and Chen is up to 29. Johan Santana dominating this sport. Well, yeah, 35, 33, and 32.
2 of those years he won the Cy Young Award.
So Chen, who allowed 2 runs on 2 solo home runs his last start, has done the same here tonight. Now that his team has him back within 1, he goes to work on Chirinos.
Who hit a home run last night. Boy, he showed me Miguel Gonzalez got the first pitch up. He singled to center, hung a slider, and he homered to left. That got real quick. 13 of them last year.
And down and in, got his foot out of the way.
That's what you try to do, and move the feet.
Texas has been hit by 39 pitches, second most in the league, so they don't mind taking one for the team. Left field, Snyder towards the line, appears to have a play, and he does, and he has it for the out. So Chen retires it, and 1 away. It's time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Just use the hashtag #OsCouchCam, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast, all brought to you by T-Mobile. Wow, that's a professional camera. Posing. Let's see if I got it. What do you think of this angle? I'm going to submit that to the T-Mobile.
Well, again, Martin saying maybe. Leonis saying, well, I took all that extra hitting yesterday, again today, but I did get a base hit his last time up on a changeup yesterday. So,
well, when you're 5 for your last 51, you'll try anything.
So why not utilize your speeds? If everybody knows you'll bunt, everybody has to move in a step or 2, and then you do enhance the chances of hitting it by him.
Right to, oh, Manny gloves it. A short hop, and it skipped at the same time.
Well, that's what
instincts, 2 away.
That's what I was talking about. Now, how many guys can make that play? And he's going to have a little smile. What kind of smile? He's looking in there because he robs him. I mean, this is a bullet. And the good news is that it actually almost landed at his feet, so it wasn't a true short hop. Otherwise, it might have hurt a little bit.
So 2 down. Shen in search of his third 3-up, 3-down inning. Here's Hanser Alberto. Breaking ball bends in there for a strike.
Yeah, the ability to not. That's probably, I think, the first curveball of the night, and he throws it for a strike, and it was a good one.
Alberto, another one of these players that last year was on the same shuttle. Began the year in Myrtle Beach in the Carolina League. Did well, promoted to Frisco in the AA League. Batted .303 in AAA this year before being called up. And he'll pop it up to shallow center. Adam Jones waits. And Wei-Yin Chen has a 3-up, 3-down inning. His third in 5 innings tonight. Mid-fifth at Camden Yards. The Bambino and the O's down by a run. Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Now there is a postcard picture as we look towards the west. B&O Railroad Museum there on your left, looking out towards Howard County, and a beautiful sunset back inside Camden Yards. Here is J.J. Hardy to lead off. Snyder and Joseph will follow. J.J. popped up to shortstop his first at bat. And then a breaking ball for a strike.
A lot of breaking balls, and he had a curved ball that he popped up, got out on his front foot. There's another one.
Because the Orioles only see the AL West teams for 2 series a year, home and home, things like this happen. But the last time Martinez faced the Orioles, as Hardy will take ball 3, was last year on July the 1st. Oh, he called that a strike? I'm sorry, I didn't see the hand come up.
Well, no, one of the other ones was called, so 2-1. Go ahead.
But he pitched July 1st of last year here at Camden Yards against the Orioles. And there's strike 2-2, and he allowed 8 runs, 6 earned in 5 innings, because in that game he allowed 3 home runs.
Well, this game's not over, but he's pitching real well, and he's got more experience. And you see, it's just not afraid to throw it over, and I think that's why he probably got called up when everybody got hurt. Holland went down. Darvish went down early. Harrison went down. One day you're throwing in minor league camp. 5 days later, you're pitching your first major league start.
There's a chopper towards the mound. Martinez quickly on it and fires to first. Gets it to Moreland for the out. And 1 away. Well, this date in baseball history, Amherst defeated Williams College 73-32, the first college baseball game. Amherst, that's Dan Duquette's And 1990, Andy Hawkins throws a no-hitter but lost the game 4-0. That was at Comiskey Park. And he was on the Yankees then. No-hitter, lost the game 4-0. And you know all about that because you discussed it with him.
Well, I saw it early on SB Nation, and I figured, okay. And so it was, it was a windy day, as it can be in Chicago. And his third base coach was Buck Showalter. Quiet as a church mouse. That's the way he described it. He was one of his coaches. And no-hitter, windy day, error by Mike Blowers, walk, fly ball to Jim Leyritz. He said it was almost like, landing people on an aircraft carrier. I mean, turning around and all that. Ball fell. 3 runs scored. Bases were loaded at the time. They had walked Ozzie Guillen to load him up. Got out of the inning, except he dropped it. And then Jesse Barfield, who was terrific, he lost the ball in the sun. So 9 innings, no hits. They don't score. Greg Hibbert, he said, had a no-hitter. Both of them had no-hitters going into the 5th inning. So it was a real good pitching duel, but undone by defense and a little bit of wildness.
Yeah, and he pitched a no-hitter. However, then the rule was altered because he was on the road. He only pitched 8 innings, so it doesn't count, even though he didn't allow a hit. That's not nice.
Well, there's a message there. Don't do it on the road.
27 outs, yeah. And Snyder down on strikes.
Well, see, this is when you get a 24-year-old that's learning how to pitch. You're down, 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 down. Watch him just go up, change the eye level of Travis Snyder. 4-seam fastball, just a little bit of extra. Guys looking down because that's what the scouting report says, and he just changed it. Just rode a fastball in, throwing everything else. 2-seamer, just 4 seams. Perfect pitch.
Here's Caleb Joseph. Left field, got under it. Ryan Rue is there. And he puts it away for the out. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Martinez, his second on the night. We're through 5, 2-1 Texas. So Jimmy Paredes gets the sunflower seed shower on the home run. Beautiful sunset tonight. And some interesting weather going through here on the overnights the last couple of nights.
Yes.
Beautiful day today.
A lot of rain last night. All day rain Saturday, which caused the split doubleheader that the Orioles won on Sunday against the Indians.
Elvis Andrews shows bunt and takes a strike. That got Manny moving.
And then the Rangers come in and they rain home runs.
Andrews 0 for 2. He grounded out and flied out. 2, 3, and 4 this inning against Chen. He showed bunt, pulled the bat back.
An amazing game. You get all these notes. Texas had hit a total of 8 home runs in the previous 10 games before this series, and now they've hit 10 in 2.5 games.
Slice to right. Davis back on it. And Chris puts it away for the out. One away here in the 6th inning. Time is running out for your chance to vote for Manny Machado, Adam Jones, and the rest of your favorite Orioles for the 2015 All-Star Game. The voting ends Thursday night at midnight, and your O's need one last push. So vote now, Orioles.com/vote-orange. You could earn ticket discounts plus the chance to win an autographed All-Star Game jersey. Now you can vote up to 35 times with each valid email address, so keep voting orange and get your birds into the starting lineup. Again, it's Orioles.com/vote-orange. So if you're at home watching the game right now and you have your laptop handy, go online, vote as you're watching the game, and a lot more votes for Manny and for Adam. Prince Fielder takes ball 1. Slices it to left. There's Snyder. And he's got it. So 2 fly ball outs. Fans, you can get in on the baseball action with Masson. Just text the word Orioles to 29292 for team alerts and chances to win exclusive prizes all season long, including meet and greets with your favorite players. Again, that's Orioles to 29292 for O's alerts you can't miss.
Yeah, 9 of the last 11 outs in the air. Very, very pitch efficient tonight. Very few breaking balls. You know, 1 curve ball, maybe a handful of sliders. There's a hook. You just never know with Wayne. He'll break it out. A couple of change ups. I don't think he's thrown one for a strike, but he's only thrown about 3 of them.
His start on Friday was the 100th of his career, so now he's starting on his next 100 here tonight. 38 wins, 28 losses with the Orioles.
Very reliable. And a potential free agent.
Jonathan Scope with Buck. Be careful, Jonathan, you're about to be quizzed.
That's right.
He'll be heading to Frederick. He's expected to play tomorrow.
Buck may be saying, do you know how to get there? It's up Route 70 and 70 North. And
all you have to do is find Route 70 and you can't miss it because the ballpark basically sits on the highway. There's a Harry Grove there, right? I think so. Rounded towards the middle. There's Hardy. Diving stop from his knees. He throws and safe is the call at first. Late call there by James Hoy.
Yeah,
you saw the first base coach Hector Ortiz signal safe, and then the safe call came after.
Yeah, how many times do we see J.J. Hardy have to dive for a ball? So foot down, ball and glove, and he beat it out. So not bad for a guy that's coming off a hamstring injury to put him on the DL. And of course, I asked him, I said, did Josh Hamilton really tell you, or I guess it was the other way around, BELTRE told Hamilton, if you got a hamstring, play with it. So thumb injury for BELTRE, really close. Nice play by Hardy to even give him a chance to throw him out.
The players on the field were expecting a possible challenge, but Buck gave the signal, no, let's go. So it's a 2-out infield hit getting Mitch Moreland up. And a call on the corner for a strike.
And probably low. This Moreland's so hot, as we mentioned. 25 RBIs, 9 home runs in June. Back-to-back games with a couple of home runs. He's done it 7 times now.
And he skies it to left center field. Carries, but Adam has a play, and Snyder alertly stops, and Adam has it for the out. And the inning ends. Well, we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Our Mazda do-ups. Ryan Flaherty, top of the order. Manny Machado, Jimmy Paredes.
CHOO, and you could see the look on Boyan Chen's face, number 11 on the year. And then Ryan Rua, a couple of big swings, flies out the first time, and then off the roof, make it 2-0. And Jimmy Paredes, the Orioles within one as he hits his 11th home run to right center field. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. It's a little 2-1 here in the 6th.
3 solo home runs. 1 allowed by Martinez. That was to Paredes.
So what? 4, 7, and 3. 14. Good changeup right there.
Ryan 0 for 1 tonight. He's now 0 for 9 in the series and is 4 for his last 19. Ball to left field. That's some carry. Rua back on it, and that ball is off the wall and in play. Flaherty is hustling to second base. Rua gets it in, but it's off the bag. Just missed a home run, but he's at second with a leadoff double.
Yeah, about 2 feet. Boy, the big difference, again, you make adjustments, and one thing about Nick Martinez, the ball runs. Watch this ball run away. Well, the good swings, and we've seen him throughout, Moreland and CHOO, and now Flaherty, they go the other way, and then there's the mark on the wall. What, about 2 feet below the top of the cushion fence here at Camden Yards, or otherwise the game is scored.
Well, this is only the second opportunity for the O's with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, you could see Ryan Rua, no chance of getting back there, and then a little indentation, a couple of feet from being a home run. Nice little hitting approach.
And the hottest hitter coming to the plate. Nearly hit him inside 1-0.
Well, that's the one thing. He does hit batters, and we told you the righties hit him better than lefties. 311 with 5 of the 8 home runs, or actually now it's what he's thrown another home run tonight. That was Paredes, so 5 of the 9 home runs.
Bounce to third, right through the legs of ADRIAN BELTRE. Flaherty goes to third. He'll be held, and Machado's on at first.
Well, you know, last night Colby Lewis ends up winning the game, but the error by Odor, 15 extra pitches. Manny doesn't do what you want to do. He wants to hit the ball the right side. This is a curve ball, and he just misses it. Boy, right on the edge of the grass in the infield. But again, I think he was out where he just flat out missed it.
Did the ball possibly hit the lip of the grass?
No, he was in just enough. You know, you play. I mean, I'm just from all my times with Brooks Robinson, Doug DeCinces, and other. You play where the lip doesn't come into play. Now, maybe he thought it. I just don't think he stayed down on it. Hit sharply.
Yeah, he likes to go get balls down on his knees and then get up and throw, and that one just missed him. Here's Paredes. Weak ground ball towards second. Flaherty comes in. He'll score. Throw to second out there. Back to first. Safe at first base.
Well, I don't know about that. I think he looked out. But the Orioles will take the run. They've got everybody back because you're on the road. But the one thing about Jimmy Paredes, he's very much like Adam Jones. You know the situation here. Try to stay out of the double play. Machado's going to try to get down there, but of course Andrus easily gets it and running hard through the base. Nope, safe. He's safe. And that's what hustling down the line does.
And we have seen that with consistency with Paredes on balls put in play. He does bust it.
Well, that's the guy at the plate. I mean, he leads the parade here on the Orioles.
So it's a tie game as Flaherty scores. Adam Jones has hit 2 rockets tonight. One a double, a hard smash past Beltre down the left field line. Then he lined out to right field that SHIN-SOO Choo was able to corral. And trying to go the opposite way, he fouls it back. For Martinez, stolen base wise, there have been 4 attempts. 2 have made it, 2 have been caught.
And Chernos throws really well. Quick to the plate. And I don't think you're going to be running, what, 5 attempts for Jimmy Paredes? Not getting thrown out with Adam Jones up there. Yeah, there's that running fastball. Yeah, you think that it's going to be on the plate, but it just runs off the plate. Very well located. Location, movement, velocity. That's probably what Mike Maddox's brother, the Hall of Famer Greg Maddux, used to talk about. And Martinez has that.
Jones down 0-2. Throw to first, and Paredes diving back in.
Boy, that error, huge. They wouldn't advance the runner.
Right.
Paredes' ball would have been the second out. But that's all kind of a moot point here. There's again up and in. And as I said, he does hit guys.
12 on the year.
And what happens is you make that pitch, and then usually with the count 1-2, you might throw him a slider or a breaking ball. You already hit a curveball for a double right down the third base bag. And once again, the throw. Almost sidearm.
He has the Jake Arrieta beard going. The 1-2 on Jones. Time requested by Chirinos.
I thought that was a balk.
Well, Chirinos requested.
No. I'm talking before that.
Oh.
Looked like he just kind of started his windup and leads over. Okay, now watch him. He gets back on the mound, and he got set, and then he was going to throw, and then he just kind of looked over there and then stopped his windup, and that's when Chirinos called timeout.
There's Mike Maddox on the bench.
Yeah, I think they got away with the balk.
1-2 on Jones. Swept foul to stay alive. The error by Beltre for Texas, it's 63rd on the year. They are 14th in team fielding. The Athletics have committed 76 errors. So the leadoff double and the error helps get a run in. Still only one down with Paredes at first. And Adam Jones battling here. Bouncer to third. There's Beltre's got it. The second out there. Back to first. There's a double play, and that ends the inning. Good slide by Paredes, but a nice turn by Alberto. Orioles do scratch out a run. We'll head to the seventh in a 2-2 game. As a fan favorite returns to Oriole Park, first 20,000 fans 21 and over at the game that night against the Nats will receive the Orioles plaid floppy hat presented by Miller Lite. You can add this to your Birdland summer wardrobe. You know the floppy hats, they're always instant fan collectibles. So get your tickets now, Orioles.com, or call 888-848-BIRD. That is a perfect look for you on the golf course or gardening. And the sun is quickly leaving us. Another nice shot heading out to the west. And we go to the 7th, and here's Ryan Rua. Chen gets ahead of him.
Well, yeah, he just missed a home run on the first fastball. Hit the second one to right center for a home run, so they hooked him.
And foul back at 0-2.
Big, strong guy out of the minor leagues, a home run hitter.
He is from Amherst, Ohio, and he went to college at Lake Erie College. Hit 18 home runs combined last year in the minors between AA and AAA, and there's a breaking ball outside.
Took a little bit off, tried to drop it on the outside corner, just missed. And maybe in this count, still can throw him a change up, down, and away. See if he'll get out on his front foot. You can see the low target. A hanging slider. It's not a good idea.
So it's a brand new game now, 2-2, as the error helped lead to a run.
Yeah, pitch count still well in hand at 69 for Wei Chen.
Chopper, Manny's got to hurry. Barehanded, fires, got him.
Yeah, I think he probably had two options, but what do I know? He catches everything else. He could have probably caught it with the glove, bare hands it, probably. But this ball's moving pretty good, as you can see, and it doesn't really matter when you're that good. Yeah, he's back to being Manny Machado defensively. Some early season struggles, mostly throwing errors.
Chen has retired the leadoff man in 6 of the 7 innings tonight. And he gets ahead of CHOO 0-1.
Well, really 2 high fastballs. That's the runs. 1 to CHOO, 1-2 pitch, and then the Rua home run.
Ground ball towards the hole. Diving stop by Manny. Gets up. He fires and got him.
Wow.
What a play by Machado.
Well, this is why the Orioles have the best defense in baseball, infield. Not a doubt. And they're going to get on their feet here, as they should. Watch him hurry here. But you know, CHOO can run. And he's smelling base hit, and he's out.
Oh, yeah, he's out. So Manny tested twice in this inning, and he's 2 for 2.
Yeah, I want you to go home tonight, and I want the zone rating on him.
Zone rating? That's my assignment
the
tonight.
UZR. Isn't that what they call it?
All I know is he catches them and he throws them across and they're out. That's all you need to know. Chirinos takes ball 1. Popped him up. Back of first. Flaherty's got the angle. He calls. And he makes the catch in fair territory, straddling the line. So a 3-up, 3-down inning because of Manny Machado. This one in the hole against the shift and fires across to get SHIN-SOO CHOO. Orioles and Rangers wrap up this 4-game series. Kevin Gausman will come back to the O's. He'll be on the mound against Giovanni Gallardo. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30 with O's Extra presented by Southwest, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
So Gallardo got 23-plus scoreless innings, and boy, he's been on a roll. Kevin Gausman, one of the great arms in the Oriole organization, so he comes back up, and he will pitch against Gallardo. Boy, Gallardo, they got him from the Brewers, and they're going, I don't know how the Brewers could give him up. And about 3 young players that went the other way. They must be pretty gifted because he's done a great job for them.
Chris Davis leads off in this tie game. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Shift on as usual against Chris. And it's inside for ball 1. Parmalee on deck, and then J.J. Hardy.
Yeah, Chen never has lost against the Rangers. So
Martinez has never won against the Orioles. 0-2. And his ERA against the Orioles, 8.71.
5-13 last year, and as the pitching coach Mike Maddox said, hey, it was a team. The Rangers used 64 players last year and 40 pitchers, set the all-time record, major league record for most players used. All the injuries, and only won 67 games.
And a base hit against the shift for Chris Davis. Well, he had an outside pitch and he just went with it.
Well, that's pretty much what he does when he's hitting well, and it's also, Martinez doesn't really have the stuff to get in, so he 2-0, wants to stay away from the home run, but he also wants to throw strikes. The ball's up just enough, and then just flicks it the other way.
Yeah, that's a beautiful swing there.
Well, the one number that I looked at, the batting average on balls put in play for Chris Davis's career is .317. Last year was .246. Kind of tells you he didn't have a good year. It's closing in at .293 back on .300. So it tells me that, he's striking out still in once every 3 times or whatever. But at the end of the day, the work he's done with Scott Coolbaugh, the swing is getting much sounder as the season progresses. Gotta like that.
Well, he's now got an 11-game hitting streak with that base hit. 0-1 on Parmalee. And he skies it to center field, and Martin can't see it. And now he picks it up. Still twilight here, and Martin has it for the out. So back to first goes Chris Davis. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles.
Yeah, it looked like Chris Parmalee was sitting on a breaking ball or something off speed, because he had a very good swing but just skied it.
JJ popped up to short and hit a comebacker on a chopper off the plate. Martinez got him at first. Outside 1-0. The one thing with JJ, and of course he began the year on the DL, had a very short rehab stint at Bowie, and then rejoined the Orioles in New York. Took him a while to get his timing, but the way he's taking pitches now, you could see how much more comfortable he is at the plate.
And when he does that, he can shoot the ball to right field, right center.
Davis runs, swinging a foul back.
Yeah, a little run and then hit. Yeah, the premise, I know my former manager, Hall of Famer, that's passed away, Earl Weaver, he didn't like to hit and run. He said only one good thing could happen. Too many bad things could happen. But then again, he liked 3-run home runs, as most managers do. But the premise is that if you start the runner, eventually one of the middle infielders is going to have to cover. So it does open up holes. Or you get them maybe moving a little bit more than they otherwise would.
Does not go. 1-1 is swung on and hit to left field. That ball's back. It is going and down for Hardy. And the O's have the lead. And Angela Neblet of Glen Burnie, our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, another $500.
And it all started with a opposite field ground ball hit by Chris Davis.
So number 4 for Hardy.
So what did he say the other day? Hadn't hit a home run in June. Hit one off Corey Kluber, who won the Cy Young last year. Don't want to be known as a slap hitter. He drove that ball.
Again, Jim, I think it's all about the timing. You know, he's got enough at bats now that, he's back to himself.
And he's healthy. And again, you hurt your shoulder. You hurt the left side of his shoulder. In a kind of a dive for a ground ball in spring training. It took a long time to get healthy. Very good changeup and a fastball count. And then it's a matter of, that ball was in the middle of plate, but it was down. And JJ's a better high ball hitter, but he got a great pitch to hit. And when you're heating up, which he did, over 300 in the month of June, you don't miss those pitches.
2-1 on Snyder, who got a changeup on 2-0, and he fouls it back. But JJ's now got a 4-game hitting streak going. And he is 26 for his last 80. As his bat is really coming around. 325 clip in the last 80 at bats over the past 22 games. That ball's ripped down the line, but foul.
Vicious. That's what Parmalee tried to do, but skied it. Curve ball.
That put a dent in the Cole's garage door down there. I hope she has insurance. How was that ball blistered?
Well, I hope that glass window that she views the world through is shatterproof.
2-2 on Snyder. And trying to go the other way, fights it off. Spencer Patton now getting loose, one of the 5 right-handers in that bullpen.
I saw him first night in.
This will be the 7th pitch in this at-bat to Snyder. And he got him.
Yeah, it's almost like Travis said, flicking the ball away, looking inside middle, and then Nick Martinez, just ball run right to the outside corner. Perfect pitch.
And Martinez has allowed 2 home runs here tonight. In his start at Camden Yards here last July 1st, he allowed 3. Steve Pearce and Nelson Cruz hit solos, and Caleb Joseph, who was at the plate, hit a 2-run shot. And it was proven to me again that baseball players never forget a thing today. When I was talking to Caleb at the batting cage, I said, this guy you're facing tonight pitched here last year. Remember what happened that night? He said, yep, home run.
Well, Caleb hit home runs in 5 consecutive games. Was it during that streak? Might you know?
It was not, actually. Okay. But he knew he faced this guy and he homered off him. So everybody was out in front.
That's one of my favorite stories when Sammy Ellis came on as a pitching coach. Sammy, a really good right-handed pitcher in his own right. He lived around the corner from Robin Roberts in Tampa in the offseason, and he once said to Robin, he said, who hit the most home runs? And Robin said, I don't know. Some guy hit 19. And Sammy said, well, what was his name? He said, I don't know. They were all solos. He forgot his name because if you pitched a lot of innings in that day, and you talked about it earlier.
Yeah, with Chen.
Chen gives up home runs today. He did walk one right after the home run. But, again, if you're going to throw him, and this is a real easy place to do it. We've seen that, especially if you don't make your pitches, and even you do sometimes.
Good take, ball 3.
I mean, the Orioles are coming into this game at 5.28 runs per game, and on the road they're at 3.89. Now, you assume that's going to get a little bit better. But if you can't score in this ballpark as a team hitting.
Well, the Orioles are 10 above 500 at home. They're 25-15. And the 3-2 is lined to right for a base hit. What a nice at bat there for Caleb Joseph.
Hands back, foot down. Let the ball travel.
Well, fans, on Sunday, July 12th, when the O's take on the Nats at 1:35, first 20,000 fans, 15 and over, will receive an Orioles Hawaiian shirt. Make your summer even hotter by adding this Little Island flavor to your Birdland wardrobe. Good seats remain for the game, but that game is going to go fast. That's the final game before the All-Star break. So get your tickets now. Don't miss out. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Yeah, Mike Maddox out to have a little conversation, and pitch count at 92. You know, the Chris Davis was just a ball. He got behind him, got a ball up, ground ball is short, but got behind Hardy, hittable fastball. And that one right there, that's just, you know, you make your pitch down and away, and Caleb Joseph goes right with it. That's what hitting's all about. There's Scott Coolbaugh on the right, J.J. Hardy of recent home run fame, and then Matt Wieters to our left, who will play tomorrow.
All right, now who's giving the advice there? Is it Matt saying, telling JJ, you know, that's what I told you to do? It's Flaherty, you'll take ball one.
And I think Mike Maddox, you don't want the game to get out of hand. You have a young pitcher as far as experience. He's 24, turned 25 this summer. So he's given up 2 runs. 2-2 is now 4-2. Flaherty almost hit a home run to the opposite field. Just make your pitches. Try to. There's a changeup and a good one.
Well, for Martinez, this is his 45th major league game and his 40th start. Orioles with a run in the 6th, aided by an error to tie, and 2 runs here on the home run by Hardy. Breaking ball in there for a strike.
Boy, is that a high strike. I want to come back and get that one. I mean, it's just, and again, it's not that John Toon-Payne is not doing a good job, but just maybe he's a high ball umpire to some degree. And then the curveball again at what, 78, a little bit easier to track if you're umping. And there's a good curveball.
Appeal, no swing. Bill Welke said he checked. Well, 3 hits in the inning for the Orioles.
Yeah, Nick Martinez certainly would have liked to have had that called and get into the bench.
Yeah, Flaherty trying to get on to turn the lineup over. Machado's on deck.
No, that's why you have Patton, the right-hander, in the bullpen.
2-2. Towards the middle. Andrews spins, throws, and safe at first base. Hustling down the line is Flaherty. What a play by Andrews to even make it close. But it goes as an infield hit.
Well, we saw Odor and Andrews turn one of the best double plays of the year when he backhands the ball, and then Elvis has not left the building because he just got to that ground ball that not too many shortstops get to. And then an acrobatic throw. And Jeff Bannister, I mean, this is just a move you got to make. Nick Martinez, really going to give up, at least to this point, 3 earned runs. The error didn't hurt him, and then the home run here.
So Martinez will leave. Patton comes on with the Orioles batting in the 7th.
Him some runs. He wouldn't be leaving with a chance to lose. Pitches well, throws a lot of strikes. Your AT&T call to the bullpen. AT&T, proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles. AT&T mobilizing your world. Well, Spencer Patton comes on. He came over from Kansas City last year. Station Frazier going the other way. So, up and down, 3 times, really pitching well down at AAA Round Rock. And anytime you give up 2 runs in 23 innings, 10 out of 10 in the save department, and then again a 157 batting average with 31 strikeouts. And then this is what you like to see. You bring somebody in that can throw strikes, and if their guy's on, which is the case here, first and second, that's where they stay. You don't see too many Manny Machados in the minor leagues, do you?
No, you don't.
And if you do, they're not going to stay there long.
So Manny trying to get that hitting streak up to 13. He's 0 for 3. Did reach on an error, and it was a big error. And it's outside 1-0. Starting with Dan Duquette before the game at the batting cage, and he was talking about how many players, especially high picks, were originally drafted by shortstop, and then became stars somewhere else because of their athletic ability. And Manny is one of those players.
Or J.J. Hardy in front of him.
Ground ball towards short. Andrews has it. He backhands. The long throw across is there, and the inning ends. So Manny grounds out. That ends the inning. Patton does his job, but the Orioles do get the lead. A leadoff single by Chris Davis, and a 2-run home run by J.J. Hardy, his 4th of the year. And the Orioles, as we head to the 8th, have a 4-2 lead. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and tonight it's Manny Machado providing the Miller time. Here's Rua leading off in the 7th. A chopper. Manny playing deep, barehanded pickup, fire, got him by plenty, but that was just the beginning. Next batter, CHOO in the shift towards the hole. Manny diving stop. He will get up. He will fire sidearm and get him in an eyelash. Back-to-back base hits taken away by number 13 at third base, and there's your Miller time for tonight.
Yeah, and the significance as we look at David Lowe come in for defense. Wayne Chen still on the mound with Martin hitting. But again, 2-2 ball game at that juncture.
And Chen is pitching so well, not even any activity behind him. Martinez 1 out of 2. He got a single on a bunt single on what was a sacrifice attempt back in the 3rd inning. It was such a good bunt, he beat it out.
Yeah, and then he attempted, at least early in the count, to fake a bunt the next time up. There's another. Ooh, nope, didn't get the outside corner. So only the 1 walk, and that was after the home run that CHOO hit back in the 3rd.
Popped him up, breaking ball. Flaherty out, Jones is coming in. Adams says, I got it. They all retreat and get out of his way. So 1 away here in the 8th. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #OzCouchCam, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile.
Yeah, I got to do the one I sent.
With another professional camera.
When I was out in California, and Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick wouldn't let me on the booth, so I just did a shoot from my couch.
Really?
It was a real couch cam. I was on the couch.
Oh, and what did you take pictures of?
Me.
Of your selfies?
No. My wife Susan did it. I was just laying there enjoying the game, watching had a little glass of wine. Maybe, I think maybe
a little snack,
salsa and Tostitos or something. Yeah, chips and salsa. Perfect.
Well, but
Orioles were winning.
But did you tweet it?
I did tweet it.
And did you win?
No, I didn't win because I didn't enter the contest, but I may be belated. Nobody knew I did it because nobody's on my Twitter account until just kidding. Until just now. I want to be loved, Jim. Come on.
So all you people out there who are not following Mr. Palmer, please search him on. You'll find him like that.
I'm kidding. I just want Wei Chen to get out of this inning. Then it could be Britain time.
Foul ball. That was dangerously close.
Well, yeah, you make a good pitch, and Alberto just says, okay, can't do anything but hit it the other way, and almost got lucky, or almost had a great at bat. Now, you're playing percentage baseball because you don't have to worry about a ball with a 2-run lead hit to your right or left if you're first baseman or third baseman, so you play off the line, try to plug the holes.
And he got him on a high fastball.
Yeah, missed his target by 3 feet, but young hitter hasn't been playing a lot, and he chases. Look where the target is. Look where the ball goes. Way up and away. But he threw it well.
So Chen, that's only his second strikeout. And gets the youngster Alberto, the rookie. First ball swinging as Andrews pops it up wide of first. Overs Parmalee, reaches in, and he didn't get it.
Boy, every attempt to get there in time. That ball wasn't that high. Well, again, you're off the line. Never took his eyes off it. And into a sea of fans. And just about a foot short. That's right. Take no prisoners. Get the ball. Couldn't do it.
That's a great effort. Here's the 0-1, fouled off again. This one well back in the crowd. 23,019 here tonight. And Darren O'Day now getting loose. Penn is well rested the way Buck has been able to mix and match in this series. And the 0-2 is hit down the left field line softly. A long run for David Lowe, and it's foul. That ball just kept on fading.
Yeah, the count 0-2. He wanted to throw that slider just a little bit more and then try to throw it down and in. Not that I was left-handed, but I saw so many guys do it that I pitched with that they really try to hit that back foot. And then the illusion is going to be the good slider, you think, if you're a right-handed hitter, and you go to chase it and swing right over it. But where are they going? Up to Mr. Chen. Looks like it's down and away.
Ground ball right at Parmalee. He'll backhand, get to the base himself, and Chen has another 3-up, 3-down inning. So the Orioles will come to bat in the bottom of the 8th, looking for insurance. Our Honda do-ups: Jimmy Paredes, Adam Jones, and Chris Davis. 2, 3, and 4 for the Birds. Madison is brought to you by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. It is a lovely night downtown. And inside, 23,019. Watching the Orioles with a 4-2 lead, looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, and Spencer Patton, as we mentioned, comes out of AAA up and down 3 times. Not a hard thrower, but strike thrower. And that's about it. 91 slider. And we saw it to Manny Machado to get out of the inning, like 82, 83 miles per hour, and then he's got a changeup to back it up. And that's a sweeper. That did not linger in the same place.
Patton came on and got Machado on a ground out to end the 7th with 2 men on. Line drive. There's a base hit for Paredes. Got a 2-hit night. So Jimmy is on his 21st multi-hit game and a leadoff single. Let's get a look at our Jeep Inside the numbers. You talk about a tight division race. The smallest spread between the top 4 teams since division play began in 1969 as we turn the calendar to July. And this year, the closest ever. 1 game separating the top 4 teams.
Yeah, even the Red Sox, everybody said we're out of it. They're back within 6 in the American League East.
The Orioles and Tampa Bay in a virtual tie, and the Yankees a half out, and the Blue Jays 1 back. Blue Jays have already won. The Yankees have a lead. Tampa Bay is trailing.
Yeah, significantly against the Indians, and then 11-2 Toronto over the Red Sox.
Well, the Blue Jays had to win today. It's Canada Day. They wore their special uniforms.
Oh, wow. Adam, that was the old-fashioned hanging slider. This was going to be home run number 11 on the year. Boy, right in the middle of the plate. He did the same thing to Paredes. He threw him a great slider, and then he threw one right in the middle of the plate, and Jimmy smacked it into right field.
Well, 0-1 the count. Toss to first. Sam Freeman, the left-hander. And there's Zach getting loose. It is a save situation. Zach did get an inning in last night to get some work in.
You know, only 87 pitches for Wei and Chin. In the old days, of course, you'd throw 130 pitches, but in the old days, you'd send, just the way it was. You'd go out if you had 87 pitches, pitching like he is, and you got a guy on, then they may go to the bullpen. A little different now. And you have one of the best closers in baseball.
A lot of room in right center for Adam. Outside corner call strike. Jones thought it was low. See the gap out there as Martin way over towards left center.
Yeah, 3 steps, 3-4 steps. You're always going to play as a center fielder one side or the other, so you can actually see the ball get into the hitting zone as it gets up to where the hitter's going to swing it. Otherwise, nice effort, a little extra, but blown away. Just imagine standing at home plate. You got about 4/10 of a second. There you go.
Less than that.
To pick up the pitch, see whether it's going to be in or out, if it's a breaking ball or not.
Slow roller. This is going to be a tough play. Here's Beltre. He's going to have no play.
How about that catch?
Backhands it.
Yeah. Well, he knew he didn't have a play.
Adam with a swinging bunt hit.
Yeah, Patton gets a little unlucky here. Adams says thank you. Good moving fastball, swings right over the top. Kind of like he flipped it, and there's the right down at the plate.
Well, with Chris Davis coming up, here's Bannister, and we'll get a pitching change. So Spencer Patton will leave. Here comes Sam Freeman. Orioles looking for insurance. 2 on and none out in the 8th. Students from the Leadership in Media Production from Baltimore City Public Schools. Their partnership with YouthWorks. This summer program enhances the in-school curriculum. It allows students to focus on digital storytelling and broadcasting. Now, the Orioles in Masson gave the students the opportunity to showcase their talents and learn about the behind-the-scenes productions here at Oriole Park. They interviewed players, covered Buck's pregame press conference, observed Masson's production, even visited the O's extra set and the production truck. They also had the opportunity to practice their play-by-play skills. There they are at Orioles Productions. There's Hollywood Stosh. The students will produce a story about their experience of working before, during, and after a Major League Baseball game. And there they are on the set of O's Extra for the pregame show prior to tonight's game. So what a great gesture by the Orioles in Masson. And those students, they were into it.
Oh, they were. I wouldn't let them in here because they might take my job. So everybody had a good time. So we see Sam Freeman, 93-94, came in on Monday. He struck out to the side. Great split-fingered fastball. Bottom dropping out of it. And there's 94, and he misses. So there you go. It came out of the St. Louis organization at the end of spring training. Again, a little bit of wildness, but good arm. And we'll see if he can command that. But again, the splitter was unhittable a couple of nights ago. And there's a slider, 2-0. The one thing about Chris Davis, he's hitting, at least average-wise, lefties over 300. Came in at what, 301? As you mentioned, Jim, boy, you'd love to add on some runs here.
Chirinos was going to fire back to second base, and he had the ball pop out of his hand.
Yeah, you got to be real careful when you're catching, when you come up like that. And that ball was right down the middle. So Tom Payne behind the plate calls it. But if you come up on a 2-0 count and block the umpire, easily for him to miss a pitch.
And a turn and look. Well, let's see if the Orioles score 2 here. It's no longer a save situation. There's Anthony Bass getting loose. Chen on the bench with a low pitch count might be given the chance to come out. Although Buck tends to like to get guys in games after they warm up. Slice down the line. That is foul.
Yeah, there's a calmness to Chris Davis. Doesn't mean he's not going to strike out, because that's what he does. I mean, even when he hit 38 home runs and drove in 53 home runs and drove in 138, strikes out once every 3.3 times. But it just looks to me that more rhythm to his swing. And again, he's facing a guy that throws hard, and he knows he has a split finger fastball because they all watched Sam Freeman come in on Monday night. So power arm, slider, splitter.
And the 2-2 is called strike 3. Davis does not believe it.
Well, it's a horrible call. I mean, we've seen high strikes, low strikes. Nobody complained one bit about Bill Welke last night. This ball's on the ground. It's pathetic umpiring, and we've seen it. Hirschbeck started it on Monday night. Ball's just low. And you could see, just all you have to do is watch their catcher bring the ball up about 2-3 inches. And it's, something you have to live with. I don't understand why at this level. And it's just one pitch there, but there's a pattern.
There's Parmelee, who is 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts, and he has walked. Breaking ball for a strike.
And if you're Major League Baseball and you're not happy with the lack of offense, just make your umpires a little more responsible, being more consistent with the strike zone. You want it to be the same in the first as it is in the ninth, and it wasn't, or the eighth.
Parmelee now talking to Tom Payne.
And the one that really kills you if you're a hitter, I mean, obviously I'm a former pitcher, you love it. When you throw a ball, they call the guy out. You want to do jumping jacks and celebrate out there, but just think if you're a hitter, you're done. It's just it's a ball. You're trying to be disciplined. The ball's about 2-3 inches low, and the umpire rings you up. Very frustrating.
So 2 on now with 1 down. Orioles trying to get an add-on run here before the ninth. Inside, nearly hit him.
Well, that's save your knees day or night. 95 at the kneecaps. If this pitch doesn't set up the low and away slider, I don't know what does. As Chris Parmalee just gets that back knee out of the way. Think about move your feet, move your body.
Count evens 2-2.
And you know he wants to. He hopes that he hangs something and he can smoke one up the gap.
And he got him. Got it by him.
You know, that's a terrific pitch. You know, plus arm, almost hits him, and comes back and throws one up in the zone. Chris, a better low ball hitter, just rides it through the zone. Yeah, you got Anthony Bass out there if you're Jeff Bannister, but I think he likes what he sees, and he knows, you know, he has the fastball and the slider for the lefties, but he's also got that split finger, which we saw on Monday night when he struck out the Orioles. All three batters he faced.
J.J. Hardy up with 2 on. And it's low. Zach Britton is ready. He's been watching the action. And Chen.
Yeah, marvelous game. Totally unfazed by the 2 solo home runs he threw. Just did his business. Orioles came back on the Hardy home run. Last time up for JJ.
Well, similar pattern from his start on Friday. Although in that start he pitched just 6 innings, Chen, but he allowed 2 runs on 2 solo home runs. Same thing tonight. There's the power zone for J.J. Hardy. He homered to break the 2-all tie his last at bat. Hard hit ball to third, glove there by BELTRE, and they'll get the force at second base, and that ends the inning. So the Orioles strand 2. We head to the 9th. O's 3 outs away from a win. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. There's a gorgeous night downtown as we look over the convention center, and Wei-Yin Chen on the bench getting the high five for an outstanding job as he goes 8 strong innings.
Yeah, terrific job. The breaking ball, curveballs, and sliders. Not as many changeups. A lot of strikes. Only the 1 walk after the home run by CHOO. And boy, look at that strike percentage. 87 pitches, 60 strikes. So there you go. A lot of fastballs, sinkers, best in baseball. At least arguably you could say that. Certainly could make a case for it. Saw some throw him some sliders last night. Only the 1 blown save. Doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. Needs 3 outs for the Orioles to win game number 3 of this 4-game series. And of course they're looking for a base runner. That's where it all starts for the Rangers.
And he gets ahead of Fielder, who was taken all the way.
Yeah, they play him, and we've seen him in this series first 2 games. I mean, he hits balls the other way. And yet they have the Lone Ranger, and that's Manny Machado on the left side of the infield. Texas Ranger at the plate, of course. Well, look at that ball just went straight down at 96. You know, you talk to other hitters after Zach Britton comes in, and they go, how does he do it? How do you throw a ball that hard and get it to sink like that? Well, it's because he's Zach Britton.
And the 0-2. Called strike 3 on the corner. And the fielder just walks away shaking his head.
Well, he'll do that to you. Boy, he's been that good. And just, he practiced it last night. Remember, he comes in a mop-up game in a sense, and he just get his work. And boy, threw some sliders. You know, it's a pitch that it's hard to throw because it's a secondary pitch. If you've just become recently an Oriole fan, I mean, he did lead the Orioles in victories as a starting pitcher in 2011. And there's a slider, and they're not looking for that at all. He just doesn't throw that many of them. So when he throws it and throws it for a strike, it can kind of cause a paralysis at the plate.
Beltre's 1 out of 3 with an infield hit. Hardy nearly robbed him with a diving stop. Zach in search of his 23rd save to allow Chen to even his record at 4-4. One thing I've been impressed with in this series with the Rangers, you have this perception of them of being these free swingers just trying to mash. They really work the count. They are very selective.
This guy does. I mean, right there, you think, you know, you look at fastball and maybe chased a little bit, but that's the movement of the ball. Beltre, you know, start looking at his numbers. He's won the Gold Gloves, 4 of them. You know, arguably in this era, we're talking about this era, he's one of the better third basemen. This era, remember, this era, and he can hit. So, and he makes you throw it over, and he uses the whole field. That started when he was playing up in Boston.
Called strike 3. A fastball right there.
Well, he just overmatched 2 of the better hitters in the league. You know, Beltre's had the thumb injury, but Fielder, you know, right up there with the league leaders, and he just freezes it. And look how Caleb Joseph look how calmly he presents it. And it's a little bit off the plate. So they have something to complain about, too. It just presents it to the home plate umpire.
On their feet at Camden Yards, anticipating the final out. And it is Mitch Moreland. Strike 1. Moreland 0 for 3 in the game. He has struck out, he has grounded out, he has flied out. All the pitchers hanging together on the Orioles bench. All 5 of them there in that shot. One and one. Now, you guys have a club membership cards for starters?
For starters. Well, you learn a lot. You know, you watch the game. We used to get Terry Crowley, Merv Redmond, Chico Simone, Kurt Moten, guys that were, you know, real good hitters. You know, the utility guys, and discuss the game for 9 innings. There's a strike, among other things. But you watch the game, and you know. So somewhere around the corner,
he hit the glove and he got the call. Yep. 2-2 with 2 down. And he fouled it off.
Well, I'm working with Mr. Excitement tonight. Nice little just flicking it foul. This is what he did against Bud Norris the other day. Of course, it was early in the ball game, and then he got a slider to hit, and that was the beginning of the 4 home runs for Mitch Moreland. That was game number 1.
For another 2-2 pitch to Moreland. Struck him out. So Britton comes on to earn the save, and he does it in tremendous fashion, striking out the side in the ninth.
It doesn't get any better than that, Jim. Fielder, BELTRE, Moreland.
So Hardy and Paredes with home runs. They split the 4 RBIs, and the Orioles win it to snap their 2-game losing streak. Our final score at Camden Yards as Wei and Chen wins it. The Orioles 4 and Texas 2.